Back now to the New Hampshire primary, where Senator Bernie Sanders eked out a win over former Mayor Pete Buttigieg of South Bend, Indiana, who joins us now from Manchester, New Hampshire. Good morning. Congratulations on a pretty big win, second place last night in New Hampshire. Jumping ahead to South Carolina, though, how do you develop momentum there?
Well, the key is to take the momentum that we have been able to demonstrate in Iowa and New Hampshire, settling the question of whether we could build a campaign with appeal across age groups and different kinds of community, and now take it to Nevada, to South Carolina, engaging voters in very racially diverse states, sharing this message that we have got to come together and be ready to confront Donald Trump with a unified Democratic Party around values that we share. There's going to be a very clear choice here. Senator Sanders, who I respect, and he had a great night as well last night, but he's got an approach that says you're either for a revolution or you got to be for the status quo. Most people don't see where they fit in that message. Our message is one of delivering real, meaningful, bold, progressive reform in a way that can actually bring Americans together, not further polarize us at a time like this.
Hey, Mayor Buttigieg, it's Willie Geist. Good to see you again this morning. Let me ask you about those Sanders, and we can put Warren voters in there as well. There are an awful lot of them, both in New Hampshire and Iowa, and also nationally. What do you say to them to try to move some of them to your side? They're pretty dyed in the wool at this point. They have a vision for the country. They have a vision for how government would function, and you're offering an alternative vision. For example, Medicare for all who need it, as you put it, or all who want it. So in other words, it wouldn't be mandated. We wouldn't take away your private health insurance. What's your pitch to some of those voters as you go forward?
My message is I'm inviting them to join me in a campaign that will produce the most progressive presidency we've had in a half century, and yet do it in a way that can actually serve to better unify the country. I mean, take healthcare, the example that you brought up. If we are right, if progressives are right that the public coverage would be the best, then eventually everybody will choose it, and it will become Medicare for all. This is a pathway to get there that has a little humility built into it, recognizing that if some people would rather keep their private plans, that's okay too. The goal shouldn't be to make sure that the government is providing everybody's coverage. The goal should be to make sure that everybody gets excellent coverage no matter what. And on issue after issue after issue, we share the same goals. What I'm offering is a way to do it that can actually get achieved, that is paid for, and that's a really important thing too. You look at Senator Sanders' plans, again, speaking to goals that we all share, but the whole in explaining how to pay for them amounts in his case to $25 trillion of unexplained gap, even after you raise middle class taxes. And I don't think that even progressives really want to be in a world where we can't keep our promises. We've had enough broken promises in this country. There's a better way to get these things done, to confront climate, deliver health care, empower workers, ensure corporations and the wealthy are paying their fair share. Let's do it in a way that can actually unify, not polarize this country.
Reverend Al.
Mayor Pete, Al Sharpton here. You've talked a lot about the Douglas plan that you've designed to appeal to black Americans, your plan for black Americans. You and I have talked about this over the last few months. You've done very well. I congratulate you both in Iowa and New Hampshire. No one thought you'd come within 4,000 votes of New Hampshire. I think it's a big win. But how do you deal with, you put out a plan, how do you give people the confidence, given your background in South Bend, that you will initiate the plan? How do you put to rest the tensions you've had with, in terms of the police chief and other issues? I saw a stirring speech by Ms. Muhammad introducing you, saying, I'm from South Bend and he's a good man. Lamel McMorris, other leaders are with you. How do you now go to South Carolina and Nevada and say, not only do I have a plan, but you can trust me, I've learned from certain experiences as mayor of South Bend?
Well, I think the key is to make sure that I'm sharing South Bend's story, but also that other voices, black and Latino voices from our community, are also sharing their experience of South Bend's story. Because the Douglas plan isn't just something that came out of the blue. It connects to experiences and things that we've learned, sometimes things we learned the hard way at home. When I talk about economic empowerment, that ties back to the race-informed economic work that we were nationally recognized for in our city. It ties back to the experiences we had and what it took to drive dramatic fall in black unemployment and black poverty in our city faster than what happened nationally. And also recognizing the areas where we had real struggles and had to push in order to deliver progress and reform in racial justice and policing, for example, and making sure that economic growth really was experienced in every part of the city. Just like America's story, our city's story is complex and challenging, but it's a story of working side by side in order to deliver results for black residents. And I'll be telling that story so that people can see how the ideas of the Douglas Plan connect to work that I've done. It's also, I think, something that gets a second look now that we've demonstrated that we actually have a campaign to contend with.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of folks that I talked to over the last year said, you know, plan seems great, very comprehensive. I love the Evan agenda for Black America, but come on, are you really going to be a competitive campaign? Now that we have put that question to rest, I think we're getting a whole new look from Black and Latino voters who have so much riding on making sure that we defeat Donald Trump, because they are among those with the most to lose if they have to endure yet another term of this presidency.
So, Mayor Pete, you and Bernie Sanders have run neck and neck, two extraordinarily close races in Iowa and in New Hampshire. Nobody expected you just even a month or two ago to do so well in both places. You did. So now the question is, how do you separate yourself from Bernie Sanders as you move forward to Nevada and to South Carolina? Why should Democratic voters choose you instead of Senator Sanders?
Well, Nevada is a good example of a place where there are a lot of union workers who sometimes gave concessions on wages in order to get excellent plans. I'm thinking about culinary workers, for example. A lot of folks across the AFL who are prioritizing health care as an issue, and they are not interested in Senator Sanders' vision of eliminating all private plans, because they actually got and fought for good health care coverage that they have right now. If the choice is between Senator Sanders telling them they're going to have to give that up and me saying that we can enhance and increase choice without asking them to sacrifice what they have worked so hard for, I think that is a very good debate for us to have, and I'm looking forward to having that debate.
All right.
Former Mayor Pete Buttigieg, congratulations once again. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great having you on, Robert. Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.